What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to Trading Live with Bubba. It is Thursday, the 21st of November, week from Thanksgiving. Markets are in this like double reverse mode. They continue to, they break, they rally. These are all very significant signs of a market potentially seeing the top. Now, we don't predict markets. We're not predicting tops. We're looking for opportunities. Certainly, there's a trade we can look at right now in the euro currency, and you can go ahead and, if you want to play, if you're here, you can go ahead and trade it. Your stop would be at 105.04. 105.04. Okay, but again, very quiet. Not a lot of activity. I mean, we're seeing dramatically low numbers here. Again, so we have to wait for some action to come in. Certainly, there's potential in the notes, maybe, but overall, the Dow would be a highly questionable trade, but we can look at it and see what it looks like. Our stop in the Dow would be 43,939. And that looks like it's a trade. Go ahead and take if you want to. 43,939. Yeah. And of course, let me just put my orders in to get out. Okay, so again, it's relatively quiet. These trades are a little bit of a stretch. I mean, they certainly qualify under circumstances, but because of the lack of overall activity, not a real big fan, but I did take them. Okay, I am in them with you. If you took them, and if you didn't take them, hey, we'll see what happens. In the meantime, as we look at the rest of the board, Apple continues to be vacillating in the middle of nowhere. Really nothing for us to do here. Amazon, right back to the mean. As we talked last Thursday and sold it, here you go. So you get paid off. Okay. Coin, okay, very similar. Okay, kept going up to the upper end and failed, and of course it looks like it's now building some new consolidation between 280 and 340. So you want to look at opportunities there, but nothing today because it's already sold off. Crowd, certainly we want to look at if we can get up to about 360. Again, remember, all we're doing now is trying to take advantage of probability. Okay, there's a high probability that there's going to be a little bit of a pullback. Here we talked about on Tuesday. We talked about Meta, and of course we took a position there, and we got the rally. Okay, and again, it still could be a loser. Again, there's no guarantee that it's not going to come back below, but we sold it down here below at about the 550 level. Okay, we sold the put spread, so we're at 558. So again, not a bad trade. Now you got a chance to look at the other side of Google. Okay, this is a good opportunity to look for some put spreads to potentially sell for next week, I would say. But now remember, next week we go into Thanksgiving, so it's going to be a slow week. But we'll look at the trade anyways. Again, it doesn't matter for us whether it's slow or whether it's busy. We just care, can we make a trade, and can we make money off that trade? Okay, and so if we look at it for the 29th, hold on, 162.50. This is 129th, 162.50, 160. Really not enough credit for me to want to go into it yet, so I'd have to wait. It needs to come down a little bit further. I don't want to take less than $1 credit. Basically, I'm trying to get 40 cents per dollar that I risk. So certainly I won't make a trade there yet. Let's see here. IWM, nothing coming off the mean, staying in that range. Microsoft, again, in the middle of nowhere, really nothing to do. This is one, MSTR. I missed this. I'm already in a couple of positions here. I missed trying to get some off this morning. I tried. I just couldn't get a good enough price. Obviously, now that I see the action, I wish I would have got in. But, of course, that's the story, right? but certainly still overbought even with the pullback. But I would not be in a hurry to sell it here now. I'd wait and see if it rallies again. But certainly I expect it to come back down into the 300 range as it sits. Now that could change by the next time we're here together, but that's what I would expect. November Uniform Golf Tango. Okay, not much here right now. We did talk about selling put spreads in it, but again, whether you did or you didn't is okay. The video, we didn't do anything. It hit earnings, and really it's just right at the mean right now. So we'll sit back and wait. The Qs in the middle and nothing to do. SMCI, right back to the mean, as we talked about. So you can see the high percentage and the high probability that we have on the trades that we make. Certainly Square would be one that we did sell the other day, and it's back in that same area again. If you already have a position, there's no reason to add to it. You're still in a winning position, so I wouldn't get too carried away. Okay, and the SPY, again, really nothing. We're just kind of in the middle of nowhere. Tesla, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Win. Really not much going on. XBI, again, this is one we did the other day. Okay, it is working perfectly as we suspected. Here's one that we looked at the other day. I said I didn't do anything in it, but now I might consider doing something here in XLE. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Our open trades right now are losing, by the way. We're still in, so I'm not really focusing on them. But XLE, I will take a look at. And XLE. Now here, I'm going to consider taking a potential short position. Okay, I'm going to sell the 92.50, 98 for $5. Okay, I'm going to work that order now, 92.50 to 98. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, and zoom. Oops, wrong one. Zoom popped up again. Okay, but look, let's see how it did do exactly what we thought it was going to do. And these are things just to remember. And then there's a couple of extras. Snow, which exploded this morning. I did sell spreads in here. I sold the 150, 170 call spread for $14.58. Okay. It's one that you can look at again. I'm playing the blow off. I'm playing the big break on the earnings. But again, that's all I'm looking for right now. Our euro currency is losing trades. We're still in the market, obviously, but still in. And the Dow, we're a small loser as well right now. But we'll see. Again, the reason we use our stops where we use them is because they give us the opportunity. So let's see what it looks like from here. But overall, there's not a lot going on. That's the real thing that we have to remember, is there is not a lot that is happening. So if there's not a lot happening, why should we get overly involved? I think this is important to understand, that you have to be patient enough to wait. And of course, it looks like our euro is probably going to get stopped out. I mean, we still have room, but it doesn't look very good at the moment. But again, we'll see. We're not doing anything. Again, we're in. We can't get out, and I'm not taking the loss until it stops me out. So I'm still alive in the trade. It's almost going to be a potential add-on to this trade, or a stop in a new trade potentially, because you can see the volume picking up, but the volume's got to surpass here for me to want to add to that trade or make a new trade there, which I would. And of course, now we see the Dow turning over in our favor. Still a small loss. Nothing, again, right now there's so little to do. It's hard to want to get overly excited. Okay. And it doesn't want to make you get overly aggressive. I think this is one of the things you have to remember, that it's important to be able to not get involved sometimes when the markets are not cooperating. Okay. Now, you should have got out of one of your Dow. Okay. If you got in the trade, you should be out of one. And now your stop should be at break even on the balance. Okay. And you should be out of the entire trade now with a small profit. We're still in the euro currency. And of course, obviously it turned around before we could add on to it. We have no profit in it. We still have a small loss, but we are still in the game and still playing it. So I think that again, these are things that you have to watch and pay attention to. Again, there's not much going on, but you did make a little bit of money on the Dow and you're out of it, which is fine. Okay. Again, this isn't exciting. This is very hard. Okay. And trading can be very hard as when you're trading, because of course we can see the lack of overall activity. Even with the markets moving around, there hasn't been much volume to go along with that market. So it makes it a little bit more of a challenge for us to get too crazy here. And I think that's what you got to always remember. Okay. Is how are you going to, put yourself in the best position? That's always our job. Okay. Is to put ourselves in the highest probability position to be able to make money. Okay. And do our thing. So once again, we sit here and of course now you can see that you actually are getting a potential add-on in the euro currency. You saw that big spike in volume. We did not get stopped out yet. So now it's looking to see if we're going to get another potential trade. And that is something that we have to, again, be aware of as we look. And of course, now it's actually coming back up more quickly than we would like. So hold on one second for me. Hold on one second for me. I'll be right there. Take care of some other business at the moment. Hold on. I'll be with you momentarily. Okay. And so now, again, you're sitting here with not much going on, not much trading. And of course, that's one of the problems, right? That's what we have to, always be aware of is, is there opportunity? And quite frankly, there is not a lot of opportunity right now. And again, we're not going to force anything because it just doesn't make sense to do that. By forcing action, you're just putting yourself in jeopardy. Okay. And we don't want to do that. Okay. So, one more second. Okay, so again, as we sit here and watch, we're still in the euro currency. We're out of the Dow, and you don't see much other action. And that's something that you have to always remember, that if there isn't much action, then there's not much to do. And I think that if you can learn that, okay, and put yourself in that position, I think you'll be much happier and you'll be much more successful in your overall trading. But as you can see, not much to do today. Maybe we get something here in the Russell. No. Okay. So we really have very little activity right now. So, again, we're going to watch for a couple of minutes, but I don't see much to do. So I think that why don't you just all have a nice weekend, and I'll see you back here on Tuesday. because again, why should we put ourselves at risk? Okay, we still are in the euro currency, but other than that, I think we sit back and wait. So have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here on Tuesday.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.